Supreme Rice. Since the 1930s, supporting Louisiana farmers and communities throughout Louisiana. To find out more, go to supremerice.com.
Live at lunch.
You are looking live.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Handegriff.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Big Mike's Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs, welcome to the Monday edition of Live at Lunch. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Handegriff along with Jimmy Ott. Jordan Kitchen's back in the studio. Glad that you're with us today. Troy Mack will be with us a little bit later today. And, of course, it is Monday, so it's Brian Kelly press conference today. That ought to be a real hootenanny today there, Jimmy. Good morning.
Buy out Brian. Here we go. Sunbelt Billy out. Buy out Brian's in.
Well.
Wait, join the club. We sit here and talk about Penn State and Norvell and Florida State and who else? Stoops. It's got a headache. You think anybody think they got a headache? Scott Wilbur's got a bigger one.
Be an athletic director at Florida or Auburn is another place.
You think I don't. 0-4. The Karma Police got Hugh Freeze. This is unbelievable. Week after week. The teams find ways. When you kind of snake bit, you gonna find a way to lose. They're gonna find a way to lose.
Yeah,
over and over and over. So whether it's self-induced, but his biggest fault, I can't believe that this guy was one of the most respected offensive minds in the conference. He's coached in this conference before. He beat, no matter if they were cheating their behinds off or not, beat Saban twice, back-to-back years when Saban's in his prime. Okay? Enough said right there. But, man, he is not we could crush Jackson Arnold. He has not developed him one bit. One freaking bit.
We live in a different world of college football where today when the sun came up, Vandy, Ole Miss were in the top 10 and A&M was in the top 3. And Florida, Auburn, and LSU all have embattled, well, one of them now a former embattled coaches. So, I'm not going to tell you to get used to it. I'm just going to tell you that this ain't.
It's not uncommon.
It's not the college football that we are used to. Do the example I just gave you, where schools like Penn State are buying out coaches 3 weeks after they were in the top 3 for $50 million. These things are not things that we're used to. At all. We understand how much the landscape has changed from a player standpoint in the last 4 years, but from an administrative standpoint, this is as different as it gets. You can be a school like Indiana and hire the right guy, and all of a sudden pop yourself into the national championship discussion. Not just hey, you can get into a bowl game. No, the national championship discussion deep into the month of November. This is not your typical. There's nothing typical about college football.
We
right now.
Again, I was wrong on. I thought that the transfer portal / paying the players would only separate. The separation would be wider between the haves and have-nots, and it just hasn't. And say what you want about Vanderbilt and Indiana and some of the others, and like you talked about, Florida, Auburn, Florida State, LSU. Charlie, it's Ole Miss. I got aggravated at Ole Miss. We should never look Ole Miss in the eye, and that's what we've been doing this year. Ole Miss is better than LSU.
Yeah,
and
you don't have to look them in the eye. Look up.
They don't even have a better team than they did last year.
They don't.
They're not as good as they were last year. Unless you think Chambliss is that much better than Dart, which I think he is, but not significantly, But the other thing is, what was Nick Saban's losses his second year? Forget his first year. Second year. Won the conference.
They lost to Ole Miss that year.
Lost to Tennessee on the road.
Lost
to Ole Miss at home.
Tennessee was good that year.
Okay,
they lost to Ole Miss.
They're a top 10 team. How they finished top 10?
They were going to the damn Rose Bowl.
Okay, but they finished top 10?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, they lost to Florida at home?
Yes, that was
So you lost to Florida at home, Ole Miss, an unranked team at home, Florida, who was a top 10 team.
Spurs last year.
No Spurs last year?
Spurs last year.
They lost, so they remember, because of 2000, they had to move the game. LSU, Auburn, Florida, Tennessee weekend moved to the first weekend.
Was that the Rex Grossman, Jabbar Gaffney play where he snapped it over his head in Gainesville? I think that was that year.
Well, it was the 2:30 game before we're going into the night game, LSU, Auburn, and Tennessee went to the Swamp and beat them, unheard of.
Yeah, that was
unheard of.
That was the 9/11.
I mean, Florida, it was supposed to be a Florida-Nebraska national championship game. Yeah. But anyway, so Brian Kelly has 2 losses this year. Teams in the top 10 right now on the road, 1 score. And they ain't happy. I mean, it is. So, yeah, Ole Miss. I got a problem with Ole Miss being a better team or program. I got a problem with Vanderbilt and being a better team. I'm really worried about moving forward too, because, man, you requested, you asked your booster group to up their game more than ever.
Yeah.
And they want, when you spend it more, you want more. And so that's a big part of it. But no, the Vanderbilt and Diego, Charlie, Diego, if we get Diego fatigue now. So you know what I do. You know my routine. Max knows on a Saturday night. After I've seen about umpteen dumb decisions by college football players or coaches getting in shotgun at the goal line. I had enough. So what do I do for a little comedic relief? Max, your mic is on.
Saturday Night Live. Right.
Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, okay.
In the opening skit. So they do this, what is that little pop song that they do that skit on with the young couple, either at the wedding party or the rehearsal dinner or whatever.
I know what you're referencing.
What's the name of that silly song they do? And they sing it Sabrina Carpenter or whatever. And so
Domingo, maybe? Is that it? I don't know.
Yeah, Domingo.
There you go.
I didn't even hear Domingo. All I heard was Diego. I swear they were saying Diego, Charlie, on Saturday Night Live. I'm just Diego'd out, man.
They were saying plenty of Diego in the in the stadium on Saturday afternoon. I think when you say top 10 teams, you're right, okay? It's not even an opinion. It's fact, okay? Vanderbilt's in the top 10 today. Ole Miss is in the top 10 today. You've lost both of those games by 7 points or less on the road. But it doesn't feel like that.
No, not at all.
And we do this all day, every day, okay? And it is hard for us to get our minds around the idea that Vanderbilt is a top 10 team. Forget about us for a second. Nick Saban on game day on Saturday said, he was the only one that picked LSU. It's hard for me to get my mind around the fact that the LSU athletes are not going to make plays at some point.
Yeah, you're paraphrasing. I just think that these athletes, the talent at LSU is going to.
Vanderbilt will not be able to keep up with that. Okay, and he was wrong, and we were wrong, and Vanderbilt wins the game. Let me just do a little bit of a game here for a second. All of the things that LSU has struggled with this year on offense were right back there again, from a lack of what you would call a dependable running game. Although they did run it a little bit more at times, but again, half of your yards are on one play.
That count.
But I realize it, but you didn't have much of that. It comes smartness and toughness, and the goal line sequence sort of highlights where LSU shortcomings have been. And this was after Durham's run. They got them down to the 2-yard line, and they run first and goal from the 2 out of the shotgun, make a yard, and then before second and goal from the 1, which is inside the 1. Then this scenario happens. First of all, you don't have the right personnel in the game, so you've got to call timeout, so you're not organized. You don't know what to run on second and goal from inside the 1-yard line. Then when you do get back out there, back in the gun again, you actually run a play for a touchdown that gets called back for a penalty. So you've been undisciplined. Then you go back out there, and that was out of the timeout, by the way. And then you go back out there on third down, and you run Juwan Johnson, who fumbled on the goal line last week, out of the shotgun again. And, of course, you don't make it there. And then the final play, the third down, you run something that you'd already run, you'd already shown them on a 2-point conversion. You ran it to the other side. Vanderbilt's got that covered. You can do nothing. And first and goal at the 2 turns into another field goal. And their red zone deficiencies, once again, rear up. This is a lot of the things that have cost them this year. Disorganization, lack of discipline, and what is being mentioned more and more and more is lack of toughness. You can't muscle up and get 2 feet against Vanderbilt for 3 plays.
You're talking about the toughness. You're talking about the offense. The defense has been pretty tough, don't you think?
The offensive line is primarily.
But we got to separate. I think the defense plays with a pretty good bit of toughness.
There is some toughness over there. But I'm even, and the defense has played well. All right, have they played at an elite level?
Well, this was the most production they gave up. This was the easiest that. I mean, they stopped Ole Miss on 8 third downs, Charlie, and caused 2 turnovers. This didn't happen on Saturday.
They did, but they also gave up 408 yards. They didn't. These guys didn't punch in the fourth quarter.
They were on the field so many plays because the offense was awful in Oxford.
The offense was awful, but they gave up plenty of yards too. The guys that they've shut down have struggled offensively. Florida, Clemson, South Carolina. Look, I don't want to jump on the defense because it's been the bright spot. But are they at an elite level? I would say they've been very good. Are they elite?
That's fair. No, that's fair. Very good but very good on toughness. I think they.
Yeah, no. Guys like Halsey and Gooden.
They've played aggressive. They bring a lot of pressure because they've got good coverage guys.
They'll hit you. They'll hit you. So that toughness to get in from the 2-yard line, and you don't get there. Okay. You gave up some third downs in the first half where Vanderbilt was able to get a little bit of momentum. And then Pavia, listen, he's an exciting player. He's an excellent college football player. And the rising tide lifts all ships. He has put that program on his back and pulled them up. And they got guys over there that are playing their behind off, and he is the catalyst of all that. And sometimes LSU lost contain, and sometimes Pavia just made a play. He's good, okay? He made plays against Alabama. He made plays against Texas last year. He's good, okay? So you got to tip your cap at some points. He's going to make some plays. And there were times where a lack of discipline on that side hurt him too. All of that, lines up to 31-24. You had an opportunity at the end of the game. Do you go for it on 4th down, or do you punt the ball with 2 timeouts to go? They punt the ball. I probably would have gone for it. I understand the decision to punt from that field position with 2 timeouts and a 2-minute warning to go, but I would have probably gone for it and tried to make something happen. As it was, they never got the ball back, so it ends up 31-24. I'm pretty doggone disappointed.
Jim Harbaugh was desperate, too. I think they were, or was it Denver? One of those wild comebacks, those games at 3 o'clock slate last.
Oh, no, it was
Harbaugh. 4th and
8 or 9.
4th and 8 or 9. They did on 25. I mean, they're down 2 scores. You had to.
Got to go.
I mean, I thought you had to. I didn't think they were going to get the ball back.
I didn't either. I mean, I understand the argument, but I didn't. The flow of the game, I did not think at that point that they were going to get back. And a lot of people very upset about this because it's Vandy.
They don't care.
They don't care
if Vandy's good.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't live and die with this stuff every day.
We predicted that. We predicted that.
Yeah, it was very easy.
Charlie, just for the record, Ole Miss had 84 offensive snaps against LSU. Vandy 67.
How many first downs did Ole Miss have? Do you have that in front of you?
Ole Miss had 28.
28. That's a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
And look, they got off the field enough to win in Oxford. I don't disagree. Okay. I don't want. The last thing I want to do is harp on the defense because they've done their share and then some. Okay.
Pavia did break containment a few times. The one that really hurts is when you had 2 guys coming free, and I don't know if the guy that lost contain, you sees that Perkins is coming clean, so he's got help on the inside, a lot of help, and so he just cannot get beat on the edge. No doubt, no excuse, get it. But I'm listening to somebody, Neuheisel break down. They're Pavia on this play for a touchdown. He went, the end rush got too high. So I mean, what do you want? He beat you in the first drive. There were 3rd down I had it like 3rd and 5 or 3rd. He throws for 18. Yet another third from the pocket. The third, he throws for 14 in the pocket. He made plays from the pocket. He made plays lost containment. He made plays up the middle. He when you want to be multiple in offense, you can run everything with him. Everything. And that is hard to do. This was one of the best quarterbacking performances against an LSU team. It's up there. It's one of my top 5s.
And none of those things bothered me nearly as much because I recognize Pavia as an exceptional player. None of those things bothered me as much as watching LSU offensive linemen get run over. That bugs me.
Yes.
That bugs me.
And we talked about this on Football Sunday so for those of you, but I know everybody's got different schedules. But we watch a gazillion college football games. You know how many times they bring up the pressure rate in a college football game when LSU's playing? Do you know the one time I saw this arm strength meter ever watching college football was the LSU game? I mean, they're doing some things extreme that are catching the people that are just coming in for the weekend to do the games as opposed to us. So we're talking about, Nussmeier. Now, I'm not crazy about just kind of the optics of the sidelines where he had to be consoled. Man, it's time on the clock, dude. Come on, I know, but but he's getting hit a lot. He's getting hit. He has been hurt, and you just, man, and I thought you got you and Richard. Now maybe it was Richard, but the big play that LSU gets, it's a lot of luck. It's like
it's a great individual performance.
You don't practice
Nussmeier
getting out. I thought he did a great job just to avoid the sack, and he throws it to the receiver, bounces off, and he goes for 50, 60-yard touchdown.
It was two great individual. No, it was two great individual efforts.
Two great individual efforts, and you can't. Man, that's not stuff you can count on. And you got guys that can really. There's about, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, how many you have that every wide receivers that everybody in the country will take on their roster. I mean, they got some playmakers, man, and it's a hard time. But listen, when you get outrushed 239 to 100, and the team that rushed for 239 clearly has the best player on the field, you lose. You lose 49 out of 50 times. You lose. I don't care if it's Vandy, LSU, Oklahoma, Alabama, Ohio State. You lose.
We're here at Big Mike's Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs. This is a wonderful neighborhood restaurant and bar. One of the things that they love here is high school football and being involved here locally. So after the high school football games, you want to come in for a late burger. You can bring the family in. They're open late after all the high school football games here in the Denham Springs area. Of course, live music every weekend at Big Mike's. There is a party for every LSU game. They get a DJ in here, so the atmosphere. Look, man, he had to try on Saturday. You gotta try to get going. Saints on Sunday, man. Look, the football hasn't been great, but you can have a great time here at Big Mike's. Happy hour drink prices all day on Sunday. It's $2.50 domestic beer, both bottles and drafts, $4 wells and $5 wines. Those are good 3 to 7 Monday through Friday and all day on Sunday, starting at 11 a.m. So you can even get in here early when they have the games over in London. Again, live music every weekend here at Big Mike's. It's the Denham Springs Institution, very, very community involved. The Denham Springs Hall of Fame here in the restaurant, of which Big Mike is now himself a part. So
well deserved.
Come on over and see us here on Aspen Square in Denham Springs, Big Mike's Sports Bar and Grill. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Big Mike's Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Show's available on demand, 1045ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net, brought to you by Supreme Rice, supporting Louisiana farmers since the 1930s, Supreme Rice and SupremeRice.com. We discussed this a minute on a Football Sunday yesterday, but I want to kind of get from a standpoint of status, what you think about this. There is a line that it gets repeated. I'm guilty of it myself over and over again. with LSU against most of the teams that they play, not the Alabamas necessarily, or if you play Georgia or something like that. But there is more talent on this team than on the other side. And we say that so often. There's so much talent. Like I said, I'm guilty of it myself. We did the whole breakdown of all of the guys that came in the transfer portal. Most of these guys had accomplished something at the Power 4 level, and you take it for granted, but it becomes like a crutch. Well, with all of this talent and all this more talent, and my question is, did LSU have more talent than Vanderbilt on Saturday? Hear me out, okay? I'm not telling you that LSU's not going to have more players drafted than Vanderbilt. They probably will. I'm not going to tell you that they won't get drafted higher than most of the Vanderbilt players. They obviously will. But Vanderbilt took care of this game in the trenches, which is where we usually start when we talk about talent, and they had the better quarterback on Saturday, which is where we usually go, if not first, then certainly second. So is this a case of maybe LSU just doesn't have as much talent as we think, or that they do have enough talent and the talent has not been developed? And I realize the answer lies somewhere in between, Jimmy, but
I think it's both.
Yeah,
it usually is, right?
Yeah, it's somewhere in between. You get both of these things. So
just a percentage of how much, and that's where your opinion comes in. I think it's a little bit of both, but I think that we have to get past the stigma of Vanderbilt. If that was a team in, I don't know, black and orange or whatever for Georgia, or crimson and white, I mean, would you be freaking? I mean, we do the blind resume sometimes. Mm-hmm. You can do the blind uniform thing. They are a better line of scrimmage team.
You put them in generic gray uniforms, and you'd never know. On Saturday, you wouldn't have.
I thought Ty Simpson played really good against Vanderbilt in that game, and they were right there with 2 red zone turnovers. They had Pavio live, on game day. He talked about, so what'd you learn in that loss? So, man, I learned the quarterback can't turn the ball over the red zone twice. He also got a little peek behind the curtain, what makes him so special, too. Well, my mom, I lost a wrestling match when I was little. She put me in a corner. Said, I ain't talking to you. And then the brothers are making fun of me. Says, I don't want to feel this again. Right. I'm not losing next time. Like, say what you want, but it's not. If that's a blueprint, to way to parent or whatever, but it's gonna make you tougher. So that's it's just Vanderbilt is, and they are. Indiana was good, well coached last year, but they were also a product of their schedule last year. They took the being hot. They capitalized on the moment and upgraded, especially up front. They got pushed around up front against Ohio State and Notre Dame. I know Notre Dame played in a national championship game. Notre Dame wasn't the second best team in the country last year. Okay, pushed around, didn't belong. Oregon's got some really good players up front, some really good players. They didn't get pushed around in that game, not at all. So they're better. Vanderbilt took the spark, 6-6, but Vanderbilt 6-6 in the SEC. Throw a party. They capitalize, and they are better. These two teams are better than they were last year. It's not gimmicks and smoke and mirrors. It's up front. And so, it's a different approach. And you talked about a lot, the sort of these guys, they got guys on a 2-deep with so many snaps per game.
Yeah.
Defensively.
Yeah.
Okay, but Vandy on the other side, and probably say, no, this guy's on D3. We know we're the misfits. We know we're playing with a chip on our shoulder. And what team in the trenches, especially LSU's offensive line and Vandy's defensive front, what team played with more of a chip on their shoulder?
The home team.
And that's one thing you can't, and I think Dixon was alluding to this during the postgame, man. Bro, sometimes your onions need to drop, and you just need to get after it. It doesn't take one bit of talent to have grit, to have toughness. And Gene Chizik was on with SEC this morning with Peter and Chris Doring, and he says, man, you turn on the tape with these guys, they get after it. So This is not some gimmick type of, man, wait, we seeing this high tempo or this new spread offense, Joe Tiller or whatever. It's not something that they're doing with gimmicks and scheming. They're just doing old-fashioned football. And, yes, the toughness part of this. And why is that? Don't know. You know, I mean, is that part of your coach? Sure it is.
It's
I mean,
part
you
of
got to
your
demand
culture.
it. Sure it is. It's part of the kids, too.
And that's why, the ex-players that we talk, Dixon on the post game, Matt and Jacob in the morning, Rohan yesterday, Braden Fajoko, who got on and did a thing with Jacques and had posted some stuff. Look, say what you want about Les and Ed too, really. They were physical football teams. They were tough football teams. I mean, Lestro was crazy with the offensive schematics, but look, they would hit you
more than crazy.
Yeah, but they would hit you. And this group, the offensive line, they won't. They don't look tough. They don't look physical, and they don't look well coached. I'm sorry.
The organizational things you're talking about, you can't have, and this is what you had, and this is what Brian Kelly's teams were buttoned up. Brian Kelly, and the bottom line is, Brian Kelly got his opportunity at Cincinnati because he maxed out at Grand Valley State. Did he not? What did they do before and after? They won some games, but he's still doing. Cincinnati, he got his opportunity at Notre Dame because he maxed out at Cincinnati. So why did he get his opportunity at LSU? Because he maxed out at Notre Dame. I mean, they were not happy, and none of those places were happy to lose him. They were man, damn. They were not happy to lose him, including the administration who stepped up their game and have given Freeman more administrative support. If he leaves right now, they will throw him a party to get him out of here. And so is it like that professional athlete who got his last contract and phoned it in is not totally, but are you getting the most out of Brian Kelly? These teams are not as buttoned up as his previous teams were. Period.
They're not. They're not as. And I thought that would be the attention to detail would be there. You had a stat when he got the job, and it's mostly continued about how many times he's won.
It's like 45 games
as a favorite when he's supposed to win.
Yeah.
He usually wins. And the knock on him there was,
and they've won every game this year. They're their favorite.
And okay, so people would say, well, you're not supposed to be an underdog to Vandy, but they were. He's 5-10 against ranked teams. The better teams on your schedule have beaten you. Have beaten you 2/3 of the time.
5-10 is not uncommon, but a lot of those coaches that go 5-10 usually don't last.
You're being paid to.
But
those are the games you're being paid to win. You know, you won the game.
He knows
you're
that.
The favorite.
He has alluded to that. He knows the expectations. He knows they're not living up to him right now.
The guy at Penn State just got fired because he didn't. He won the games he was supposed to win, but not the games that they needed to win.
All I want to see is, but boy, this is your 60% is going up
significantly.
Is Dixon 75% going up?
Yes, into that same, and look, this is the Monday after the loss, the Sunday after the loss. The emotions are always going to run higher, but give it a week to calm down, and I think it's still significantly higher.
Lane Kiffin's doing a better job in Oxford than Brian Kelly is in Baton Rouge. Clark Lee is doing a better job in Nashville than Brian Kelly is doing in Baton Rouge. Nobody can argue that.
No.
Nobody can argue that. We're live over here at Big Mike Sports Bar and Grill, brought to you in part also by our friends at Legacy Title. Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title, for all of your real estate closings. 296-0060, full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Fast, friendly, professional services, which you get with our great team. Ashley Donald, Marion Haynes, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, Natalie and Bradford Smith. Buying, building, refinancing. Nobody chooses but you. Choose Chad Reynolds at Legacy Title, 296-0060.
Live at Big Mike's in Denham Springs, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Charlie, and Troy. Three best buddies sitting around talking sports bets. Let's welcome in Troy Macker from Bet Rivers.
Troy, how you doing this Monday?
I've been better. We're dealing with internet problems, data issues, to try and get some information and get up and running. It's been a bit of a slog, but that was kind of how I was feeling yesterday, watching my team get boat raced and some bad beats. So, yeah, it's time to rebound, and we got an amazing week of sports with the NBA back. Game 7 tonight, doubleheader of NFL. So this is a great time. You just got to, lick your wounds and keep going.
Troy, let's talk about the Commanders and our boy Jaden Daniels there. And you said it a couple of weeks ago. He was saying, well, I'm not sure here, but, our defense is so bad. Man, I think about that watching their games. I mean, I know Dallas is a good offensive team, and now you got CeeDee Lamb back, and you had to develop Pickens, had to develop a relationship when he was out. So it's one of those things. But damn, I mean, like, how about the CeeDee Lamb long touch? I mean, is anybody even in the picture? I mean, they are way worse than I realized since you made that comment.
Yeah, well, there were two D-backs in the picture. The problem is they ran into each other. And so CeeDee Lamb had about 30 yards free to run. But, you didn't mention Jake Ferguson, who's, one of the 3 best tight ends in the league right now. He's catching multiple touchdowns every week. Running back, Javonte Williams, they tried to replace Zeke last year or 2 years ago, Tony Pollard. That didn't work. They got Williams basically off the scrap heap, and he's been very good. The talking point all week was how bad Dallas' defense was, but Washington's defense not much better, and Dallas' offense far better. For me, I hammered Dallas to cover. It got down to they were 1.5-point underdogs at home. I know Jaden Daniels is good, but he obviously got injured, and he's in a sophomore slump. There's no way around that. So that one was. There were a couple lines this weekend. There's one in college where I thought the line was way off, and I took advantage of it in the USC Notre Dame game. But I hammered Dallas because I was just like, Washington's in a really bad spot. They didn't have Deebo Samuel, didn't have McLaurin. I just couldn't see how anyone other than diehard homers, which I am not, to back the Commanders, and that game was never really that close.
We're very sorry about Marshawn Lattimore, but we're not giving you the draft choice back. He was terrible yesterday.
He's been,
He is the most least liked athlete in the Washington, D.C. area by a large margin.
He was very, very good for the first 4 or 5 years here, but his game is shot. He's done. 2 pass interference penalties. He gave the 44-yarder on 2nd and 17.
It's just not what he once was. He was really, really good.
For 5 years, yeah.
He really, really good.
After the injuries, he's done. Mike Evans is a lock Hall of Famer, and look at Mike Evans' average and look at what he did against the Saints. It was unbelievable. He bottled him. And I know that's only one guy, but no, he's not close. And we were talking about it, that his play had declined when they were about to trade him and then when they did. So they traded him at the best possible time.
Because those good corners are hard to find in the NFL. It's the rules are against you. Troy, I know your data is limited, but do we know of some of the big winners and losers from this past weekend in college or pro as far as the public in the house?
Able to get some information. It was an interesting week, especially on both sides. I mean, in the NFL, we didn't have a single spread play backed by, more than 65% of the money. That was, Jaguars to cover against Rams. That certainly didn't happen. That was 65%. Only 2 plays on the tickets were backed by more than 70%, and that was Eagles to cover and Patriots to cover, which they did at the Titans. The 3 most popular plays by tickets on the spread were all road teams, with those 2 I mentioned, and the Packers at Cardinals, which, people really think the Packers are good, and I do think they are, but week to week, you don't know what you're going to get out of their offense, with a team or individuals. It seems like it's, player of the week, just rotate in, and so, from a fantasy perspective, it's very bad. It wasn't a strong, overwhelming week from betting it, and that carries over to college. When you look at spread plays, certainly you had some, smaller games, but outside of Oregon at Rutgers, Oregon was backed by 75% of the money on the spread line and 83%. That's the only one that's over 75% in both categories. I was surprised that Ohio State wasn't backed stronger at Wisconsin. Wisconsin is terrible. And, their home field advantage does not exist anymore, at least not this year. 73% of the money and 76% of the tickets. But I would have figured that would have been close to 80% or so. Obviously the very popular games, as you would expect, Georgia Ole Miss, and USC Notre Dame, which I'm high on USC this year. I thought Notre Dame was a little bit better. Notre Dame minus 10.5. No way. I was on, USC plus 10.5, USC plus 11, just to help. I was on some alt lines. I cleaned up big on that one because I just thought USC is far closer to Notre Dame than the book saw, and even home field, traveling across the country. It's not really a home field or a disadvantage because they play each other so often. They know what is at stake here. So 10.5, I thought was a very, very wrong line. I would have put that at 7.5, 6.5.
Well, it opened up 7, and the sharp action drove it to 10.5, and so they cashed their tickets on Notre Dame. The Sharps were very good this past weekend, and it started on Friday night in college football with North Carolina in Louisville, and it continued on Saturday with Vanderbilt in Notre Dame. They cashed their ticket. Troy, now you had a missed extra point for it to fall 10 instead of 11. Okay, so let's not victory dance too much.
Well, hey, I was on 11, I was on 12, I was on 13.
Okay, well,
on USC.
Yeah. And then they had the ball inside the 20 when the game ended as well. They rushed for over 3. So much for, and look, USC beat Michigan at their game. They outrushed them 2-1. So we're like, okay, do they have Lincoln Riley finally has some physicality to his team? Our buddy Matt Humans from Veasan, when you asked him, he was at the game at the Coliseum. And he says, maybe. And Notre Dame rushed for over 300 yards and like 10 yards a carry. So it was and the rain didn't help USC's chances in that game as well. But no, and it is so much for the physicality of a Lincoln Riley roster that lasted maybe 1 week. So, but yeah, the sharp money was popped them pretty good this past weekend in college football. And do we know the exact numbers if the public followed Vanderbilt? Because Troy, people don't want to hear that you lost to a top 10 team on the road. Vanderbilt's now in the top 10. It's Vanderbilt. It's by far the weakest program in the last 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, whatever. Take your pick in the SEC.
Yeah, it was a pretty well-respected game. Vanderbilt to win outright was the 5th most wagered on play. However, LSU to win outright was the 5th most popular by tickets. When you look at it, we're talking 51% of the money was on Vanderbilt to win, 59% of the tickets on LSU. From a spread perspective, 60%, 51%, 60% of the money, 51% of the tickets were on Vanderbilt. And there are programs, obviously, bottom feeders, and they rise and they get better. Vanderbilt has had some of these one-offs when James Franklin was there, but it is unique to see the public back them so quickly, so strongly. They bought in to Vanderbilt being good, probably because we saw Paiva last year beat Alabama, so you have a little bit more confidence. Because there are times where it takes a whole season for people to get behind a team and really start betting them, and it seems like Vanderbilt people have jumped on pretty quickly. Now, there has been some up and down, topsy-turviness in the SEC. Obviously, people are jumping off LSU. People have already jumped off Florida, so there are things to go around. But it's, just still unique to me to see people so invested in Vanderbilt from a financial standpoint when, this is still unproven territory. But teams can have really good years. Commanders were in the NFC Championship game last year and are not going to make the playoffs this year. So it's a very good sign that there are some smarts building in the very passionate South of the bettors.
They're already favored this week against Missouri. They're going to be favored against
Auburn. They have
Auburn.
to be home then, huh?
They are.
3?
2.5, yeah.
Okay.
They're favored against Auburn. They're going to be favored against Auburn at home. They're going to be favored against Kentucky at home. I don't know how big of they'll be an underdog, but I don't know how big at Texas right now. I mean, not more than a touchdown, I wouldn't think. And then they finish at Tennessee. I mean,
it'll be about 6.
Yeah. So it's not like they're going to be a massive.
They play
underdog.
at Tennessee.
They're at Tennessee. They're probably
they'll be under a field goal underdog there.
Yeah. So the likelihood, I think, is that this is a 10-win team.
I would say 9.
Okay. Well, they would lose both of the games that they're underdogs in by less than a touchdown and win.
No, they might get tripped up in one at home. Like at home,
they could. They could lose to Missouri or Auburn. They're not infallible.
Auburn's going to be in the game. They're just going to trust me. They are going to figure out how to lose
that
it.
Defense can play,
but Missouri can beat them, and they can beat Missouri. So you can't just give them all those.
No, 9-3 is the most likely, but 10-2 is possible.
The craziest is Kentucky had 26 first downs to 8.
And lost.
Oh, I mean, I got to get that right. I mean, that was unbelievable.
Vandy plus 240.
Troy, who you liked? What's that?
Vandy plus 240 to make the playoff.
Plus 240. Yeah. So 10-2 is getting them in. So they're plus. You get money at 10-2, Charlie. So the chalk is 9-3.
Okay.
Right now. Yeah. Troy, you like anything or any significant action for our Monday night doubleheader tonight?
Yeah, I'll mention one more thing that I didn't mention about the NFL is that, the biggest loser for the sportsbook was that Denver Giants game. Obviously people were on the Broncos, but, we had people on Daniel Bellinger anytime touchdown was 20-1, some payouts there. His first touchdown was 60-1, and, we got, I believe there was a $150 wager on Broncos live money line at 40-1 in the fourth quarter. The problem is that game didn't take a massive handle because it was so boring in the first half. I think people you don't want to bet on a low-scoring game where the team's down 17-0 to a mediocre Giants team at best. So while it did pick up in the fourth quarter, I think the people were slow to get back to the live betting on that when there were great odds. But so for tonight, the one I really like is actually the prop. Mike Evans is back. I know he's banged up for 3 or 4 weeks, but he is very, very, very good in Monday Night Football. I think he's got like 7 touchdowns in his last 8 games. So I like him anytime touchdown. And you have to figure that the over is the play here. It's 53. But right now, 81% of the money and 84% of the tickets on the over in Buccaneers Lions. This should be a track meet. It should be very fun.
Troy, we appreciate it, buddy. We're out of time. We'll talk to you on Friday. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, live at Big Mike's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Big Mike's Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
They love Halloween around here at Big Mike's. Let me tell you about what's coming up here. First of all, a great event for the kids. Tomorrow night, Trunk or Treat starts at 7 o'clock, and it's just what it sounds like. They do imagine trick-or-treating meets tailgating, okay? They have a big thing in the parking lot where they open up all the trunks, and all of the kids can go from trunk to trunk, and they give out candy and stuff all the way around. Starts at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Very family-friendly. Always a great event. They've been doing it for years. So bring the kids out where you can do all your trick-or-treating in a very safe manner and very consolidated area, so you don't have to move around a whole bunch. Trunk or Treat tomorrow night here at Big Mike's.
One of my favorite things they do over here.
Yeah, cool. It's great. Great for the kids and easy on the parents too. So come on over for Trunk or Treat tomorrow night at 7 o'clock.
A lot more efficient to load up on candy from trunk to trunk than house to house.
It's an easy walk, man. It's an easy walk. Bring them out in costume. They'll have a great time. And then for the grown-ups on Saturday, the Halloween party starts at 9 o'clock. DJ Preston Wallace. There's also a big costume contest, $500 cash prize. That is on Saturday. And Halloween trivia is next week on Monday. Yeah, next Monday, 6:30. Halloween trivia. They're giving out prizes for that too.
Big Mike in the research department really identifying that the younger trick-or-treaters do not have the attention span that they once did. So,
yes,
just they got to move them quicker. From stop to stop.
Book your Christmas parties with us and let them cater your event here at Big Mike's in Denham Springs. Hour number 2, straight ahead, live at lunch from Big Mike's, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Big Mike's Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And return here at Big Mike's where Halloween is coming. But tonight, Monday night, is all-you-can-eat boiled shrimp starting at 5 o'clock all the way until close. And if you're a bigger partaker of wings, every Wednesday night, dollar wings here at Big Mike's. And terrific happy hour drink prices from 3 until 7, Monday through Friday. $2.50 beer, domestic bottles and drafts, $4 wells, $5 wine here at Big Mike's. And again, tomorrow night, Trunk or Treat for the kids out here in the parking lot, safe and in a confined area. Lots of fun starting at 7 o'clock. LSU's next opponent is Texas A&M, who is now number 3 in the country. 45-42 against Arkansas this past weekend. Bobby Petrino has dialed up some offense in Fayetteville, not a lot of defense, but and the touchdown they got to make it 3 was late. Okay, A&M was going to win this game, but Jimmy, watching A&M, what were your thoughts about how good this team? They're 7-0. Okay, it's pretty tough to be there. Just not a lot of undefeated teams left. I think we're down to 6, but they're one of them. How good are they?
They're good. Notre Dame early. That's their biggest win. The others are games they're supposed to. This is their first conference road game, and the defense didn't travel like it had been. They gave up 527 yards. I don't care, late or not. It's 60 minutes. Everybody's playing 60, and it was consistently. One thing for Arkansas and Petrino's first interim game this year to do it against Tennessee. Tennessee's given up a lot of yardage, but where Texas A&M's defense, the last 3 conference games, or the first 3 conference games of the year, all at home, and the opponents were 3 of 35 on third down / fourth downs against them. So that was a little bit of 4 of 10 for the third down, so for 5 of 12 if you include fourth downs as well. It was not a lucky. Texas A&M was winning most of the game. It really never. Here's your. I'll say that this is where it applies. Never felt like Arkansas was a threat to win the game.
Win the game,
okay.
Right.
I don't know if they had the ball in a one-score game. I don't know the last time they did. Not sure if they did in the second half. So
here's where I'm going with this.
But they Reed is good, man. Mostly good. He's had some love. The first half against Mississippi State at home was bad. Okay, but mostly good. Man, he's really put some nice air to the ball, and he can run, man. He's just come along. He's being coached. They've done a really good job with him. We know about Elko, and we talked about this when he came over. He's a line of scrimmage coach. They're gonna be better up front, and that's one thing where LSU is not getting after it. These guys are gonna get after it up front, even though they gave up a lot of yards on Saturday against Arkansas.
Here's where I'm going with this. They're the 5 games minus the Rena wins. They played against Notre Dame. Very good quarterback. Okay, freshman C.J. Carr.
Who didn't have his best night on Saturday too.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, rain, but still.
But he's good. Okay?
Yes.
We like him. Okay, so they put up over 40 points. Taylor Green is a quarterback that has run hot and cold, but is dangerous.
He played well. He got hurt. He was knocked out of the game. He showed some heart. He played hurt and was still, productive late in that game. He had a very good game. If you watch that game, you got to tip your hat to Taylor Green on Saturday.
5 touchdowns is what he accounted for on Saturday. Auburn, Jackson Arnold, they hold him to 10 points.
Horrendous.
Terrible quarterback. Florida, DJ Lagway, they hold him to 17 points.
Didn't play well in that. Moved the ball in the first half. They moved the ball
for about 3 drives.
The first half, they moved the ball on him.
He's been more bad than good. He's got 9 interceptions on the season. Okay, I didn't realize 5 of them were against LSU.
1 half good, 1 half terrible.
Yeah, okay. And Blake Shapen against Mississippi State, they scored 9 points.
He's solid this year.
Okay, he did nothing special. He's okay.
We've seen a lot worse this league.
Where's Nussmeier is where I'm going with this.
Middle of the pack. Or even a little less.
Yeah.
We talked about he's in the 90s or 80 or 90 yards per attempt last week going into the game. That's 136. So that's not even average, especially with a lot of weak teams. You got weapons. You don't have an offense. You don't have protection. So he's got some of the weakest protection. He's got some of the best weapons.
There are very good reasons for it, but I see a very uncomfortable quarterback, whether it's a lack of protection.
Even when he did, he's looking. Yeah. His clock, his mental clock is moving in. Like he stepped right into pressure on one play that I watched on Saturday. Where you have that. Your pocket is clean right here. But and that's where you can call it an excuse, you can call it a pass on him. But when you get hit, as much as he's getting hit, it affects. It has a residual effect. It's not just, man, he's got protection here. He's got a guy on. Well, no, he's still feeling it because he's getting hit so much. That's
the first part. And then the second part I would tell you is he's got a wildly unreliable running game. But somewhere in here, his uncomfortable level
running game.
His uncomfortable level is aided, I think, by the fact that this offense is clunky. They do not. When I watched Nussmeier last year, one thing he never lacked for was confidence. Maybe it was at times too much because he would force balls into things and make some, reckless decisions. But I never saw the kid lack for confidence. But right now he looks like he's waiting on the sideline. The goal line situation again. Which personnel's coming in the game? Gordy talks about this on the pregame. It's like there is no rhythm to this thing. You're moving personnel in and out. You don't really have a lot. His conversation you brought up earlier with Kelly, the body language is basically, it looks like, maybe I'm completely wrong, my opinion, don't pin this to anybody else but me, he looks at this and goes, what the F are we doing? That's what I see.
Who's saying that?
Nussmeier. His body language out there on the field, it's like, what are we doing? Okay, why do we not know exactly what in a goal line situation we're doing? Why are we constantly moving personnel in and out? Why are we constantly trying to get the play clock is almost about to expire every play because you're trying to get into the perfect play.
So a lot of situations an offensive minded coach would take the head and say, no man, I'm calling the plays now.
I wish he'd have done that 2 weeks ago. I really do.
We're not going to have this indecisiveness, in getting plays in and stuff like that.
It reminded me of the T-Bob play.
To your point,
it reminded me of the T-Bob play.
Well, that was the very last. Okay, this is.
I just mean the substitutions in and out, and they're going. What
Right. No, you can't substitute in a hurry up. Mm-hmm. You can't do it. You can't. So that's, listen, there was a lot of things in Les Miles, and I loved you saying we're dying for Les Miles' as entertaining football. I'm sorry, Charlie.
No, that was funny.
I know people are frustrated, but that is, woo, not me. Okay, so anyway, but it's, so when you have this disorganization, this indecisiveness that delays getting in, and you're over 200. Well, you got to maybe simplify it a little bit. There, you're trying to feed a lot of mouths. You got some weapons. Those guys are good, and they want. They took Chris Hilton. They took Chris Hilton to Destin. Not Destin, but the SEC Media Days. Mm-hmm. How many catches does he have?
4.
How many guys, receivers, they take to the media days? I know this is different, but they have 4 catches through 7 games. It doesn't happen. So they had a lot of things, and a lot of the frustration, a lot of maybe the poor decisions. And Nussmeier has been hurt, so I'm sorry, his arm strength didn't just go south. Okay, but. A lot of it is on the offensive line. It's just, but you got to be a little bit more buttoned up in a situation like this. Now's on, man. I'm taking control of the plays again. I'm calling the plays. We're not going to be indecisive on this type of stuff.
Here's the miles I got to feed. Okay, I'm out the miles I want to feed. Let me start with Trey Green, okay?
Yep.
And he's in the game all the time. They don't have another one like him. They go a lot of too tight, but he's in the game. Okay, that's fine. His usage has come up, and I'm fine with that. It needs to happen. I need Aaron Anderson when he's healthy, Barrion Brown, and Xavier Thomas. I don't have to feed anybody else. I like the way Kyle Parker plays. If he's in the game in a substitutional pattern, fine. Nick Anderson, came here with high expectations, has been mostly a non-factor. If Jawan Johnson has to be in the game because there's an injury, okay. I don't have to make it a point to, and Chris Hilton has basically disappeared. I don't have to make it a point to get the guys in the game. I don't. Okay,
well,
maybe they do, but
and it starts with your substitution, but you do need to simplify some things. Yeah, because that's creating some of the stuff. What about the is it Sharp, the tight end?
Bauer Sharp. He plays in most of the 2 tight end sets.
Well, is he a guy, a mouth you need to feed? He's a guy that...
No, he's gotten worse because his blocking is atrocious.
You thought he was holding on him? I've seen that. I've seen that not called.
Yeah,
I've seen that not called. No, I've seen more not called.
Yeah, that's an official's decision. I've seen that go either way. But his blocking has been poor for a lot of this season. What I'm saying is I'm gonna simplify this down to these are my best guys.
I think I agree with that.
So, and I'm into if Durham can go, fine. I think he's hurt. I don't think he's injured to the point where he can't play, but I don't think he gets caught from behind last year at this time. I liked a little bit of what I saw out of Harlem Berry. He's starting to get it a little bit. I think he's got a real bright future.
How much is all of the substitution patterns on Nussmeier as far as bogging down a little bit? Because I make this point. Gary Croton, from one year to the next, went from mad scientist to what the hell is going on?
Mm-hmm.
Because he had a fifth-year guy in Matt Flynn who can handle all the different the personnel packages and different things that you were doing. But the other quarterback, it was more adding layers of confusion.
Well, yeah, because in that 2008
season. So how much is on Nussmeier, who's a coach's son, who's a quarterback, a former quarterback coach's son, that should have some of the. But
not necessarily.
It's not on him.
Not the substitution patterns necessarily, but getting them in the right
but
play.
There's more personnel packages.
Right. Now, I don't think he's calling for the packages to come, the guys to come off the sideline. But when they do, he's
not,
responsible.
I know he's not, but you're not following me. Gary Croton didn't do one thing different from one year to the next.
Yeah.
But a big part of it was his quarterback having command of all these different personnel packages.
Yes, right.
Because there were 3 and 4 guys coming in and out of every play.
I'm with you now. Yes, some of this falls on Nussmeier. Some of it does. I think probably more of it falls on the sideline, but I think some of it falls on Nussmeier.
Forget my man Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown. Dad just passed recently. Got to go through all the succession. I'm like, wait, what? I got to do this to get this type of. There's a lot of paperwork. I am just overloaded with these. Dana and his staff over at the law offices of O.C. Brown handling everything that this people need. They need a death certificate. They need this. They need this. It's just a lot. And thank goodness for Dana Brown. So it's another example of something that I need something different. I need legal assistance out of at a different stage of my life. And so you just take advantage of that initial consultation. If you go through getting a rec, for sure. I mean, they handle everything from lining you up with the doctors to negotiating with the insurance companies, every little thing along the way. So Charlie's had different things. I've had different things. And then others, we've recommended Dana's team of specialized attorneys to assist them as well. So just another case of something different, a different stage of my life that good thing we are comfortable and have a great team that I can lean on. The law offices of O.C. Brown. Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111 and ocbrown.com.
Live at Big Mike's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Big Mike's Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Today's show also brought to you by Total Maintenance, AC and Heating, Generators, Electricity, and Plumbing, your one-stop sales and service shop for all of these things. Since 1980, the slogan has been service today, every day, so nobody's got to go to sleep uncomfortable. Look cooler today.
Yes.
Over the years, Total Maintenance expanded into another market down in New Orleans, so both full staffs. They're authorized dealer for Carrier, American Standard, Daikin, and Rheem AC units, Generac and Cummins generators for all your electrical and plumbing needs as well. In Baton Rouge, it's 480-1000. In New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance. The other shoe finally dropped on Billy Napier yesterday in Gainesville, despite Florida's 23-21 win over Mississippi State. The Gator coach is out. This has been a year or more of will they or won't they, and then last week the story kind of broke earlier in the week that they had made up their mind no matter what happened this week. Billy Napier will land on his feet somewhere. He'll get another job, not another SEC job, but he'll get another job.
I think this is his last. This is it. I don't see him kind of, even if he goes so lower, I don't think he's going to get another SEC upper half SEC type of job.
You may be right, although I got to tell you that I was shocked when Will Muschamp got the South Carolina job after what he had done at Florida.
Shocked he got the job at Florida too. I mean, what did he do to get the job in Florida?
He had become coach in waiting at Texas. No, you're right about that.
He had a good agent, man.
So here's the Lane Kiffin front and center. We talked a little bit about this last week. Some of the some of the early offers that you're hearing out there, some of the early rumors are way up there. Hey, you want to hear my joke for the day? What do Jimmy Sexton and Christmas have in common?
I don't know.
Both of their seasons start earlier and earlier every year. So he's got
yes.
He's got the reins on Lane. Do you just straight up or down? Do you think Kiffin's the next coach at Florida?
Yes,
you do. Okay, and I think there's a real good chance of that as well.
I think they come in really strong at him. I think this is part of the conversation that they leaked last week. You don't leak that information if you're not doing it. So he would win, lose, or draw. It's a bye week, but also I think he got a real chance of beating Georgia. Georgia. I mean, say what you want about Chambliss. Say what you want about Kiffin. When is Georgia at home, when they are a top 10 team, give up 5 straight touchdown drives at home to start the game?
Yeah.
5 straight touchdown drives. They are beatable. They are beatable.
And what happened to Ole Miss? What we predicted would happen to them when they faced a really good physical running team, that they would not be able to stop it.
And that's why Georgia just ran the ball to death. I don't know what they finished running the football, but it was a lot.
250. I think.
Yeah, it was a lot. So they Look, the nice little piece, the many faces of Lane or whatever. Yeah. His daughter loves Oxford. The ex-wife she's in the picture now, who, by the way, is a Florida. Look, they're coming after him. Mm-hmm. He may stay, but I think he's leaving. I think he is. The Ole Miss people have gone. They have an unprecedented support of his program. Yeah. For when Ole Miss has more player budget than a lot of the big boys, that's just, he is maxed out. He is maxed out, and maybe, and I think it's a roster last year that had a chance to do some damage in the playoffs because of what they had up front, Nolan and them guys, McGee's. But this year they'll be limited, even if they make it, which I'm not sure they will or they won't. But he knows he'll have, and will the Florida people, will they start putting their money where their mouth is, and give him some player budget that they, aren't really doing with Napier a ton. I think he knows that he's got a chance to. He's done as much as he can do, hasn't he? At Ole Miss, can they get in? Yes, they can get in, but
that's the one thing that's really complicating this, in my opinion, is. Will he have to leave? And I'm with you. I think he's headed to Gainesville. He could tell his daughter, listen, you want me to stay in Oxford, but you're in Baton Rouge, most of the time anyway, if the social media pictures are any indication. But he would have to leave potentially if he's 10-2 and they're not in the SEC championship game, so they are pretty much locked into the playoffs. Can he walk away right then? Or would Florida be willing to wait for him? 3 weeks, 2 weeks? What if they got hot and won the whole damn thing? I don't think it's possible. I don't think it would happen. But I can't.
There's a lot of things happening we don't think
exactly
in college football this year. Okay, so I don't think either. I don't think they have that roster. They just have to perform at such a. They've scored on their first 5 touchdowns on their first 5 possessions and lost by 8.
Yeah,
that's just a lot. That's way too much pressure on your offense.
I think the playoff thing complicates it. If we were 3 years ago and there's a 14 playoff,
you don't think Cignetti signed that deal immediately?
Absolutely.
With the playoff, looking at, yes. No, man, I got a team that can make a run. I don't know if I'm going to have a team like this. You just can't take that for granted. So I'm just, it's just,
if they were
it complicates it.
If they were 3 years ago and it was a 14 playoff and Ole Miss was going to finish 10-2 and go to the Orange Bowl or something, then it's easy to walk away. Then it's easy. But this is tougher. I'm not saying it's impossible. It's a deal breaker, but this is tougher. I think it just complicates matters.
It does. No, it does, but it doesn't. It doesn't stop it completely.
It doesn't kill it.
It makes it harder. And it makes it harder because if you wait, your roster is shot for that first season. Yeah. It's shot. No waited. I know it's a different level, but North Carolina waited.
They did.
How's that for first-year roster working?
Not real good. They turned a bunch of it over.
Didn't Jeremy Hill tell us what Belichick's policy was?
Stretching the ball out?
Well, he didn't stretch it out, but
he cut
they didn't
you.
cradle it.
No. He
tight end didn't cradle it.
You would cut. They were a lot more competitive the other night at Cal.
Very much so, and got it. And Cal was fortunate to win. Cal get first play from scrimmage. North Carolina fumbles it, cash it in for a touchdown. 3-0 the turnovers. The quarterback looked healthy. They had a little bit more zip to his arm. I was very surprised. Sharp action wasn't. We're all over North Carolina on that game, driving it from 10.5 to 7.5, and North Carolina could have easily won that game.
Yeah.
Could have easily.
One more thing on Kiffin. The transfer portal going to one window also kind of, ratchets up the pressure a little bit. Just hypothetically, if he were going to stay with Ole Miss into the playoff, which you're into the December the 21st area, portal opens not long after that, and there's no more spring portal. So you would be saying, look, if he literally, you're Florida, you're going, they win, we ain't going to get this guy until the portal is open. And
okay,
it's going to be shot.
Say he accepts it. I mean, I can sit here and finish coaching the year at Ole Miss and coaching our team, and see if we can make it to the playoff and do that, or you can send me on my way now. What's Ole Miss going to do?
Ole Miss is going to let him coach the
yes.
playoff. No, it's not Ole Miss. It's Florida. Are you willing to wait for him? Are you willing to?
No, he can accept it. So let's say
you can do both.
Let's say next Monday. No, I'm going. Do you want me to finish the year here,
right,
or to leave now?
Right.
I'm going.
You can do.
What do you do if you're Ole Miss?
So you let him coach.
So if you got a coach that's has the most successful run since the 50s for your in early 60s in your program, you can do it. So he has the clout. There's some that said, no, I want a Michigan man coaching my.
You could get the red ass and run him off. Yeah, you could. I don't think they would. I think they let.
I don't think they would either. So he can do it.
I think.
Can he not?
It's more, in my opinion, it's more on the Florida side. Are they willing to let him coach there?
Yeah. What do you mean? Of course it would. That's their guy. That's their guy. Now it's our belief that that's their guy, and the information I'm kind of hearing is that's their guy.
Yeah.
He's done it in this league with less.
And I'm dying to see the contract whenever it comes out, because I think, prediction, blue book it or whatever, I think you're going to see the highest paid coach in college football there. But I also think you're going to see something significantly less than 10 years. I think these 10-year contracts are going away.
Well, section tells you want them, it's a 10-year deal.
It might be a deal breaker now. The 10-year deals might be a deal breaker now. I think what Florida would come back and say to you is, listen, we will make him the highest paid coach per year in college football.
You ain't getting it for a 5-year deal.
No, I think it's probably
8?
6 or 7 is kind of what I got in my head.
Lane Kiffin's getting more than 6 or 7 years.
Okay, I want to see. Because
we threw the blue book away after the Florida State predictions.
Yeah. Because I got that one right. Thanks a lot,
Max,
pal.
you have the card. You have the blue book predictions of Florida State.
September 1st, Jimmy said Florida State will finish as a top 25 team with a better record than Alabama. I agreed on the top 25 ranking. Not so much.
Good job. Can both pay me then.
Charlie, no. The Noles are an 8-4, 7-5 team. They might not even be that.
I mean, Alabama had a tougher schedule too. Alabama became the first team in the history of the SEC to win week 4 ranked teams in 4 straight weeks.
That's a crazy stat, by the way.
Four straight. This guy was done. Who of all the coaches we're talking about, including ours, okay, who's in trouble next year probably, but DeBoer was at the top of the list after week 1.
EJ put all the stuff in the moving truck, had to take his friends over there, move it all back into the house.
No, he's finishing. Learn to pull for basketball, boy.
We're brought to you by the Thibodeau store and the Pierre Part store, now added to it, the LaRose store and the Lockport store. Go to thethibodeaustore.com. You can get to all of the individual store websites through that one. So if you're looking for all of your hardware, your power tools, your hand tools, all your garden accessories, all of those things, you can get those things with expert instruction. But your outdoor kitchens and your tailgating supplies, second to none.
Man, that weather came home last night watching the late games, second half of the 3 o'clock games. Got the green egg going from the Pierre Part store. That electric starter, 3 to 5 minutes, boom, you got it's ready to go. Did some fillets on it yesterday with some Brabant potatoes and a little glass of wine, and watched San Francisco, Charlie. You do some outdoor cooking, man. It's whether it's tailgating or in your backyard. You got to make a trip to the Thibodeau store and the Pierre Part store. Blue Book that. Max's best bet ever. Told us how good that Pierre Part store was.
There Saturday.
And
there you go.
Online, TheThibodeauStore.com. Live at Big Mike's. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Big Mike's Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
A few minutes away from the Brian Kelly press conference. We're here at Big Mike's, where tomorrow night is Trunk or Treat, starting at 7 o'clock. Bring the kids out for a great time, family-friendly, here in the parking lot. They can go from car to car and get all that trick-or-treating done. Mom and Dad can come out and enjoy the afternoon as well. Hopefully we'll have weather just like today. Jimmy, LSU is a 2.5-point underdog in their own stadium. What I know last week the point spread had everybody up in arms because they were an underdog to Vanderbilt. But what was this?
Where's LSU ranked now?
20th. What was this? Do you remember what this line was in the summer or before, right before the season started?
Yes. LSU was about 4.5, 6 in that range. It was not a touchdown, but it was over a field goal. I want to say 6. So
closer
to 7, yeah.
So then we can say in 7. But it's in 7 games. It doesn't have to be exact. You gave me what I wanted. In 7 games, LSU's point spread value has decreased by more than a touchdown. Is that fair to say? What Vegas thinks of them, if they were anything over 4.5.
Well, Charlie, A&M got better too.
Okay.
That's part of it.
That's why I'm asking.
Wait,
LSU's point spread value has gone down by more than a touchdown since the beginning of the season, or is that not accurate?
No.
This is more about A&M at 7-0 than LSU at 5-2.
Bit of both.
That they're an underdog.
Both, but
okay.
is it more A&M?
More A&M. Okay,
yeah.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, A&M was preseason what? About 20, 25?
In that area, I guess. I
think they were ranked preseason.
They were 19.
Okay. Yeah. And where are they now?
3.
And look, we know the rankings, but from 19 to 3, and LSU was 9.
Yeah.
To 20. So, but it's harder. It's definitely harder to go from 19 to 3 than it is from 9 to 20.
Yeah. And I agree that this was also the game last year that basically threw LSU's season on its ear. Everything. Look, the USC game did not go the way that they wanted to, but they had righted the ship last year. They had run off 6. I think it was 6 straight wins at that point, and they had a double-digit lead at the half. And in the second half at A&M, 2 things happened. Marcel Reed went in the game and started running all over the place. And the second thing was that Garrett Nussmeier threw 3 interceptions, and it was a rough second half. And after that, it spiraled out of control on LSU. They got blown out by Alabama. They lost on the road at Florida before they finished up in decent shape. So this game a season ago was the one, in my mind, they might have lost. They would have probably lost to Alabama anyway the following week, even if they'd held on to that lead. But I think they would have beat Florida, and it would have been what would the 10-2 LSU Tigers have gotten into the playoffs last year. This was the game that fouled them up last year. This was the half that fouled them up last year.
And it was. I thought it was one of LSU's better games the first half.
It was, They went in with a 10-point lead. They had the ball. They had decent field position, and then the whole thing just went to pieces on them in the second half at College Station.
LSU can win.
Oh yeah,
they're undefeated at home.
I don't even know how
Texas
big
A&M's best win. I mean, Texas A&M, Arkansas. Can Arkansas give them a game? Kind of. Yeah. So LSU better than Arkansas? Yeah.
Right now, I don't know if they're a better matchup for A&M than Arkansas because Arkansas can score. And I know that A&M is going to.
You're saying Arkansas is better than LSU?
Arkansas's offense is better than LSU's right now.
Okay, you got to play defense too.
I do. I know.
Yeah.
I think LSU would beat Arkansas right now. Okay, although my confidence is wavered, but I don't know if they're a better matchup because if you're going to get into a game that gets into the high 20s and 30s, Arkansas is more equipped to play that type of game than LSU is.
What's a tougher place to play? Tiger Stadium or Fayetteville?
Tiger Stadium.
Okay.
Well. This week, we'll see. They all left early for South Carolina. They were winning that game. Mood's pretty foul around here right now. In case you hadn't noticed, I'm worried about LSU's ability to get into any kind of scoring match with A&M.
Great credit to Auburn, man. They've had tough times, and that crowd brings it. That was an awesome atmosphere.
We'll see if they bring it this week. I really don't know.
Against Missouri, who doesn't exactly get the juices flowing in Auburn.
I really don't know if they will or not.
It depends on maybe getting a good start and keeping your crowd in there who's not happy. I get it. But they start beating if they have a chance to beat A&M, I got to believe. I'm sorry, this is a little bit more imposing place to play than Fayetteville.
We're back on the et cetera. The comments about the offensive line. He says he feels like he's got his best offensive line out there. He said he respects everybody's opinion and that they need to be more physical, but he thinks he's got the best 5 guys out there. I don't. So that's just a matter of disagreement. But in my opinion, from what I've seen, Carius Kern is one of the best 5 linemen. Now, before this, that would have meant probably plugging him in at the right tackle, which I understand for the 800 millionth time is not his natural position, but I feel like he's an upgrade there based on the games that I've seen. Now you've got a bigger problem because your left tackle is out as well. DJ Chester has played a lot of football. He hadn't played a lot of tackle, but he's played a lot of football. They're going to go with him there and Davis on the right side. I don't think that's their best 5. That's me. Those guys watch it every day in practice, all day, every day. They've watched way more practice film and all that stuff than I have. I think Kern's one of the best 5, even with the freshman mistakes. Que sera. I was glad somebody asked me about Solomon Thomas because I was wondering myself. Not that I expected him to be ready to play. Freshman offensive lineman is tough enough to get in there and get them ramped up in a hurry. Missing all of August camp is a really tough thing. So this is who this is the group that they got. And like I said, I think they got one guy in there that's not the right one, but that's just me. Cassius Howell is a big problem. 8.5 sacks, leads the Southeastern Conference. By the way, LSU's leader has 2. The defense has been pretty sound, but they have not rushed the passer at a huge rate. Howell's got 8.5 sacks, so whichever side he lines up on, they are going to have to give some help, and especially if it's a Harlem Berry lay a lick the other day. It was encouraging to see because that's what you want to ramp up with those freshman running backs is the pass protection. See if that can continue. Gets the criticism, gets why everybody's upset. Small margin of victory, small margin of error, etc. Anything else?
Yeah, you heard we talked about the opening 2 was talking about the Vanderbilt game. They had 49 snaps.
Yeah.
What did you read into that? Why would he mention how many snaps they had?
He talked about last week that it was like playing a service academy, their pace of play, the way they run things.
Yeah.
They keep themselves they run very few things that have the opportunity to put them behind the sticks.
Yes.
They almost never get in a bad position.
Well, your quarterbacks, you lose him. This helps in that, too. And his instincts, his smarts. Yes,
you don't see all of that. You don't see them run a whole lot of straight drop back on first down that runs the potential of getting you a holding penalty or a sack.
136 Division I, FBS, whatever we are this week. Where does LSU rank in snaps per game? Ooh. I got it, Max. I want you to guess.
Snaps per game. Without looking, I'm going to say LSU snaps per game is somewhere, I would say they're probably averaging around 65 snaps a game. That would probably be in the 80s somewhere.
Okay, Max.
They're going to be they might be bottom 10. I'm going to say like 125 out of 136.
Okay, see, Charlie, another case where Charlie doesn't listen to me, and I understand, and I'm used to it. But anyway, this was I lost. This was a bad. When you pick an under in a game, it's one of my 5-pack, 1-4 on Friday, Sunday 1-4. Thanks for shopping. Okay, so it's not my best week. I understand that, but I based it on their pace of play, and the two teams were 118 and 124. Charlie, before they had 49 snaps. They are dead last.
Wow.
It's not close. They are 136 at 55.5 snaps a game.
I was 10.
Guess who's
10
second?
heavy.
Well, who's 135? And that is Air Jordan, Chapel Bill. They're 3 snaps less, more than. That's 21 snaps cushion them being last. Now, in the Ole Miss game is 84-56. Your defense is on the field way too much. They are running the ball more. They're trying. Vandy only had 67. It didn't get into the 80s, but so they are trying to do better. Here's another one for you. LSU's offense, yards per play, because to snaps, they have less snaps. The defense is playing more snaps, so we can't go total yardage. Okay. Where do they rank? 1 to 136 by Max smoked you on that one, by that way, Charlie.
Thanks.
But anyway, you smoked me on a blue book, okay?
Yeah.
All right, throw that blue book away. Yards per play, offense and defense. Charlie, you first.
Yards
1
per
to
play.
136.
Well, given the fact that they're doing, I'm going to say somewhere in the 90s.
Offense 90.
Offense in the 90s.
Say 90. Okay.
Okay.
Defense.
Yards given up per play, I'm going to say that they are in the high 40s.
Okay, so
low
47. We'll
All right,
get you.
yeah,
Okay.
Sure. Okay.
Max.
I'm pretty aligned there. I think they're just outside the top 100 in yards per play offense.
Okay.
Defense
105.
Defense, I would go 50.
15.
50.
50. Okay. Yards per play offense, 32.
Oh.
Yards per play defense, 31.
Okay. I'll give you a stat to that in, Charlie.
That's a little surprising, huh, Charlie?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really line up with the
second worst.
They're not on the field, is the point.
Second worst in the SEC in finishing drives.
He talked about that, red zones.
So when you get inside the opposing 40, how many points are you scoring? They're settling for field goals. They're not scoring at all. And Vanderbilt's second in the country.
And I understand there's some games where you can interpret as far as, okay, they got 7s in the red zone, and we can't take that away. That's data that LSU settled for some 3s or 3 attempts, and Vandy cashed them in. I get that. But, man, when you get out rushed by 140 yards, I mean, I think there's and running the football, you're going to. Charlie, why did LSU was so bad running the football early in 2000. I can't tell you how bad. I mean, just 0 yardage, 1 yard, -1, just nothing ever. But they were going to continue to run it, and Saban said, we're going to continue. Because at some point, we're going to need to run the football to get tough yards and near the goal line. At some point. And when you're seeing these teams run the shotgun and short yardage and goal line still, and see how it's not even close to teams who get under center in those situations. I mean, you do have enough time to practice it, but man, I'm not. I can't deny it didn't happen. It's facts. It's data. What they did when their red zone trips in LSU, but damn it, man. I mean, I think there's more to the picture than just it's just coincidence it happened this way this week.
And, you want the ball more, make more first downs. I mean, that's pretty easy. But the red zone stuff is significant, Jimmy. Let me give you a list. This is the last 2 games.
I just brought them up because I thought you guys would be.
No, I was wrong.
It's hard to be 1 or 136,
The offense yards per play is higher.
I've watched every play of every game more than once and missed that stat by 2 city blocks. So I'm just as guilty. But how much different would this look if over the last 2 weeks, this is just in the last 2 games, an interception on the 1, a fumble on the 1, a quarterback sneak on the 1 that was a fumble, you end up with a field goal.
Sorry, that's points? That's points, but that's not yards.
No, it's not yards, but illegal procedure on the 1 that negates a touchdown. That's 28 points. Or if you give them the field goal, 24
and
points.
Maybe that's because here we are again in the red zone. It's not turnovers,
right?
But so I could see.
And actually, there were turnovers.
Well,
in the South Carolina
how do you
game.
not finish drives? Because you can't run the ball.
Because you can't run it.
Because you don't get under center.
That damn sequence again.
It's physics, huh? I mean, sometimes get in the mind of your opponent. When we're talking strategy, I always want to you're playing defense, and they're at the 1 yard line. Or it's 4th and 1. Do you want them under center or in the shotgun?
I want them under. They want you in the shotgun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It gives you more time to penetrate, man. I mean, the poor kid Mensah just gave the ball to the guy in his hand. He's getting hit before he can even get the ball. It leads to, a 100-yard pick. Scoop and score. I mean, you just can't do that, man.
Maybe we're the dummies, because I scream at this, and I know you guys do too. If you're not good at taking the ball from center, then damn it, start practicing it. And then I watched the Chicago Bears yesterday, and Caleb Williams still can't take a ball from center.
I watched Notre Dame get under center. They rushed for over 300.
Well, good. And
I watched Kirby's team run. How many did they rush for?
Yeah,
against Ole Miss.
So damn it! I've just said this a million times. Make it a point. Okay, these are the most important plays of the game. I just read you 6, from the last 2 weeks. If you turn around 4 of those 6, these 2 games feel a hell of a lot different. They might even won the damn game.
What about? Who would you think? Ogeron might be more of a line of scrimmage guy? Did we not watch in Missouri? Jaden Daniels from how many snaps did they take in the shotgun from the 1-yard line in Columbia that year?
Oh, that day he got just pulverized physically.
Okay, but they couldn't. Get under center. I mean, the center can go to the workouts 20 minutes before the quarterback works out with the receivers 365 days a year and take snaps. It's
you remember what used to happen when the quarterback would get hurt and the backup quarterback had a few minutes while they got him off the field to go in the game. What would he do? He'd go take snaps.
Yes.
Yeah, he'd go take snaps on the sidelines. They're just right. That's not what we do. Okay, well, fine, but those plays where those 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, 3rd and 1, 3rd and goal, 4th and goal, those are the most important plays of the game. Every week, they're the most important plays of the game. You can anticipate those being the most important plays of the game.
Now, the farthest off was Max 105 to 32.
Yeah, that was bad.
105 to 32.
I
bring it up because it obviously surprised me as well.
I wonder if you take out FCS game because they had a lot of yardage against Southeastern. So that's probably skewed that a little bit. But
everybody has FCS opponents these days. So,
we'll see. He did. They are looking for a. Go ahead. And I was going to say the electric thing. They're looking for a big crowd this weekend.
He said it electric, yeah.
I think that they'll go out because if you bought season tickets, this is the biggest game on the calendar. They are a top 5 team. If the weather's anything like what it is today, I think you will get a massive crowd to open the game. I don't know if they'll stay if you fall behind. But if they weren't, you got a lot of disgruntled people here. If they didn't stay when you were leading South Carolina, if you fall behind here, I don't know what that thing's going to look like.
So the early firings, and Matt asked about it too. Is just it talks about it. It's just what it is now, and I think it's because of the transfer portal, and because the later you wait, it really affects. Excuse me, your roster for the next year. It really does. And listen, the booster fatigue is a term now. It's a term that we use. And so, they're giving more, they expect more. But, Charlie, where's the game? So we've seen some of the early firings. What's the trend we talk about a lot? It's after embarrassing home losses.
Yeah. But
he's not getting fired Saturday night, not even close, okay? But it would really, if your fans are leaving or they start they got the GoFundMe or fire by BK or whatever it is in the stands, whatever it is, it's going to be. It's just not going to be pretty.
I asked you on Sunday if what you thought the $50 million buyout of James Franklin in his situation would trigger, if anything. Would it trigger a trend? And I kind of dismiss A&M and Jimbo because that was a special set of circumstances, and they've got more money than just about anybody. But Penn State, who's a conservative, football program, and listen, I don't want to talk about what happened off the field there.
That was
football. Tragic. Just
from
a football part.
Well, Paterno was there forever.
Okay. So, does this turn up the heat, start a trend where, hey, listen, if your guy's not getting it done, it's even earlier than now. This is not a fireable record. James Franklin wasn't a fireable record, not in a vacuum. Not a fireable. Are you going to see bigger and bigger buys? Because the one thing I know about these schools is we don't have the money. They find the money when they absolutely have to. The big schools.
Well, Wisconsin says they didn't want. They're not playing that game. They're not into it. And Charlie, 16 schools in the SEC kept their coach. That doesn't hire if they're tired.
Okay, so you're saying that the Penn State thing's a one-off.
It depends.
I don't know. I'm
well,
asking.
it depends. Franklin's been there for 12 years. We know about the top, and we know about the preseason ranking.
Yeah.
And and I'm sorry, that's all of us too. If not this year, then when?
The big game
If not
fatigue.
this year,
Right.
with them.
You didn't win it. Now we gave you everything you wanted.
Yeah, I mean they're all in. But you know what? Penn State's not alone in giving more than they ever have.
Right.
Ole Miss giving more than they ever have. Is LSU?
And how long?
LSU this past year on putting that roster together, did they not lean on their boosters more than ever?
Yes,
absolutely.
They
okay,
did.
so there's other teams. Texas Tech is. So there's a lot of those in right now because give me a business model where I don't have to pay the labor or the entertainers. Okay, well now you're paying them, and you're paying them more, and that ain't going away either. And they could try and regulate it all they want, but when they regulate it, then the ones that have always gone over the top, we're still going to go over the top. And how many coaches are whining about that? In the media days, the conference media days.
And that's why I'm so curious to see. I really don't think we're going to see a 10-year contract. I think that they are going to shorten these things up a little bit. They may put a little bit more money out per year, like a Florida or a Penn State. But how many are going to be like Florida State's a good example, okay? They gave Norvell an extension after the 13-0 season, regardless of how it finished. And then he went 2-10. Well, now they're stuck with this extension. It's $60 million to get rid of. 54 for him.
Say your typical guy that has 4 seats, pretty good seats.
Yeah.
So your middle to upper kind of ticket range, okay? And they leaned on him for $20,000 this past year for player budget. You gonna get that $20,000 again?
Not to the same coach.
That's
not to the same.
So so there's a big chunk of them.
And
there's
don't think
a big chunk of them that are going to say, no, man, and that's that.
And I'm not even
real.
necessarily talking about here, but it's I'm not. Not only I'm not going to give you $20,000 for this coach, I'll give you $30 for the next one. Though.
A colleague of mine who knows the inner workings in at LSU as well, as far as just they're not LSU's not writing that check. LSU's not getting. He says all it takes is one booster. Now we can get into the one, but do you have a handful of boosters who are willing to put their money where their mouth is? And then you ain't going to the hiring's not going to be cheap.
No,
the hire you're not going to get Summerall.
Don't forget the staff too. The staff costs money too.
Absolutely,
there's all kinds of things. There's offsets.
Who's got the highest? And like I said yesterday, you weren't there, Max. Who's got the highest paid assistant in college football this year?
I didn't know, by the way.
Penn State, right? Jim Knowles?
No, he's
you're on the right track.
Close.
Oh, is it who replaced him or who?
No, it is Knowles. It is Knowles. Who they gave $3 million to. Yeah, $3 million. They don't have a win against a Power 4 team. So, you want to get rid of your offensive line coach. You want to get rid of your offensive coordinator. Okay, and how about them? He did say that's an interesting question about taking over the headset at some point, but he just said it usually doesn't work. But bring in Bobby Petrino. Is it you gonna spend $9 million on him? And there's no guarantee it's gonna work.
No.
Who's your quarterback going to be? Well, how much is that going to cost? I bet your quarterback next year is going to cost more than it costs you to keep Nussmeier this year.
And you're sitting here talking about how you account for all this money. Who is owed money? There's a big difference, believe me, between coaches that are owed their full amount within 30 days and coaches that can be paid out over a certain amount of time. The offsets come into it. Are they going to take another job? All of those, the staffing for sure. All of that comes into
Trunk
play.
or treat, Charlie.
Trunk or treat.
We got money. We no money required there.
No, come on out tomorrow night. Bring the kids. Put them in costume. Trunk or treat right here in the parking lot. Tomorrow night. Yeah, October 21st.
Great weather.
Fantastic weather.
Who scheduled that? That's a good idea.
Big Mike knows what he's doing around here. So that's tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. They'll be in the parking lot with all the trunks open, candy for all of the kids. Halloween party, costume contest this Saturday night. $500 cash prize for the best costumes here at Big Mike's. Halloween trivia next Monday at 6:30. And it's Monday night, so it is all you can eat boiled shrimp. Dollar wings on Wednesday night here at Big Mike's. Back to wrap it up here live at Big Mike's, live at Lunch 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Big Mike's Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Hey, did you you send that joint thank you note for us yesterday? That apology note yesterday from us, me and you. We both had to sign it to Spencer Rattler for bragging on him for not turning the ball over all year.
That's BS. He's rubbing off on us. I mean,
he wasn't at the show yesterday. We did this all by ourselves.
But all of us, me, you, Dello, Rowe, all singing his praises.
He's only turned the ball over one time all year. You know, he's protecting the football.
No.
We need to apologize for that, you know, because obviously this was our fault.
Won't happen again.
No.
This is his worst start.
By a lot.
Yeah,
by a lot.
This is his worst start.
Four turnovers and 4 sacks, 3 picks and a fumble. And the Saints fall yesterday 26-14. People are so upset over here around about LSU. They don't have time to be upset about the Saints this week, I guess. We'll get into a little bit more of that tomorrow. Although if you watched the NFL yesterday.
Against what worst team in the NFL going in, yards per play defense?
Was it really?
Chicago?
Oh, gosh.
Worst.
Man, you need to take that yard per play thing and put it away. I'm not getting it good.
It's a more accurate depiction because when you're taking less snaps. And being 136, we got to go to a better one to see.
I'm joking because I don't anticipate it well, is why.
I mean, we think LSU's defense is better than their offense by a lot, huh?
Yeah. But that time of possession, that number of plays, whatever you want to, however you want to account for it, they've given up more than what you would think in the last couple of weeks. And
listen, I watched South Carolina again. I was right on them. They're not that strong. And you know, I mean, the better offense is the team that, you know, what Ole Miss had the ball on the field forever. You know, and I thought they made some plays against them. You know, the end. Ole Miss punted 4 times. Vandy punted twice.
Yeah,
they did punt more,
and not until the fourth quarter on Vanderbilt. Thanks to the folks here at Big Mike's.
If you want to under, you should get your punts before the fourth quarter.
Yes,
is that a good?
It is.
Okay,
I'm new at this. Punter was out on Broadway.
I'm new at this. I'm sorry.
Trunk or treat tomorrow night at 7 o'clock.
I'll be trunk or treating.
Halloween party this Saturday. DJ Preston Wallace, $500 costume contest.
Move over,
Halloween trivia next Monday night. Line dancing every Wednesday night. Dollar Wings on Wednesdays. All you can eat ball shrimp on Mondays, and the best happy hour anywhere from 3 to 7 weekdays and at 11 a.m.
Thanks,
all
Jordan.
day on Sunday. Thanks to everybody. Stay tuned for Hunt. He's in a great mood. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.